Is an attack on Colombia now on the table? Or what about Iran or Greenland? How is anything of this putting America first? But Donald Trump's promise to keep us out of foreign entanglements is now as worthless as his promise to release the Epstein files. We must stop Trump's folly by invoking the War Powers Act. Ash from the MAGA base on the war in Venezuela will be swift, fierce, and thunderous, just like it was with the Epstein files. And if the Republicans go along with Donald Trump on Venezuela, Americans will pay the price in blood and in treasure, while Republicans could very well pay the price politically. In the meantime, the next step for Congress is clear. We must stop Trump's folly by invoking the War Powers Act. Later this week, I'll join Senator Kaine and Senators Schiff and Senator Paul, forcing a vote on our War Powers resolution, a bipartisan measure that will affirm Congress's authority on matters of war and peace when it comes to Venezuela. If there was ever a time for Republicans to step up to the plate and stand up not just for the authority of Congress, but for our national security, our safety, that time is now. Separately this afternoon, House and Senate, leaders of the House and Senate will meet with senior administration officials to ask questions about what is going on in Venezuela, try to get to the bottom of it, and what the plan is moving forward. An all-senators briefing is also being organized for later this week. I demanded these briefings immediately after the strike on Saturday. The administration owes Congress and the American people some pretty basic answers to many important questions. Most importantly, what the hell does Donald Trump mean when he says the United States now intends to run Venezuela? Does this mean we're now in the business of nation-building Venezuela? Are we going to put troops on the ground? How many? Where? And how much will it cost? How long will this go on? These questions should be answered to the Congress and, more importantly, to the American people before the administration attempts anything akin to so-called running Venezuela. Frankly, we also know why Senator Rubio misled Congress so blatantly over the past 4 months. On 3 occasions, I asked Rubio whether or not the administration was seeking regime change in Venezuela. 3 times the answer was no. We never really believed him in the first place, to be candid. But if Secretary Rubio wasn't straight with us about Venezuela, what else is he not being straight with us about now? What else is he not being straight with the American people now? For example, is an attack on Colombia now on the table? Or what about Iran or Greenland? How is anything of this putting America first? The simple answer is that it's not. If you're a family of 4 in New York and your health care premiums just doubled on January 1st, what are you supposed to think when you read in the paper that Donald Trump is spending billions attacking Venezuela? If you're struggling to keep a roof over your head, if you're falling behind on your mortgage payment, what are you supposed to think when Donald Trump says we're going to run Venezuela for a while? The American people did not sign up for another round of endless wars. They want Donald Trump to focus on the problems here at home, on health care, on housing, on energy, on groceries. But Donald Trump's promise to keep us out of foreign entanglements is now as worthless as his promise to release the Epstein files. He promises his base one thing on the campaign trail and does the exact opposite once he's in office. And it's the American people who will pay the price. Now on the costs of living. If Donald Trump refuses to focus on the one thing Americans want most, which is to lower the cost of living, Democrats are happy to do it for him. As we begin 2026, Democrats enter the new year on our front foot. The cost of living will remain the #1 focus for this week, this month, this year, and beyond. The tip of the spear for so many people when it comes to costs, of course, is health care. It is now January 5th, 2026. For tens of millions of people, the reality of sky-high premiums has now been locked in, thanks to Republicans who let the ACA premium tax credits expire last year. Millions more no longer have health care at all. Many others have switched to lower quality plans and can no longer see the doctors they've gone to for years and years and years, or afford the medicines that their children have been taking to cure deadly diseases. Parents without insurance now don't know what to do if their kids get sick. Every Democrat in the Senate voted to extend the premium tax credits at the end of last year. And a number of Republicans, a small number, unfortunately, of Republicans in both chambers say they want to do it. But instead of listening to the vast majority of Americans who want these tax credits rendered, Leader Thune and Speaker Johnson have sided with right-wing extremists who are happy to see these credits die. The result? Higher premiums, more uninsured Americans, greater uncertainty for the people back home, especially people, actually, in the red states. Democrats will not relent on the issue of the cost of living, how difficult it is for Americans to pay the bills of things they need. The topic is not going to go away anytime soon, and in fact will only grow in intensity over the year. But as everyone knows, health care is not the only part of the story when it comes to lowering the cost of living. In the coming weeks and months, Democrats will lay out cleanly and comprehensively how we can lower costs for the American people on a number of different topics, from health to housing to groceries to child care to energy costs and beyond. In the coming weeks, for example, I'll work with a number of my colleagues, including Senator Warren, on the many options we have to help Americans pay for housing. We also need to look at lowering grocery costs. We need to end Donald Trump's destructive tariffs. We need to help families afford daycare. These are the things that Americans care about, not invading Venezuela, not attacking Colombia or dreaming of invading Greenland. The Democrats are focused on the things that matter to the American people and will focus on these like a laser: the high cost of living, affordability. Just like Democrats are dialed in on health care and brought the nation's attention to this important issue, we're also focusing on costs as they relate to housing and groceries and energy and child care and so much more. We'll show the contrast that while Donald Trump and Republicans are spending all their time on foreign wars, on ballrooms, on private jets, Democrats are the ones focused on helping people pay the bills for the things they need every day to live their lives decently. I yield the floor. Note the absence of a quorum.